Hi everybody, it's Sunday morning, so time for us to do some stamping together. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. And this is the card that we're going to make today. It's really easy, and instead of the dahlias, I'm going to use the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. And the sentiment was from Pansy Patch. So let's get started. It's lots of fun. I'm sure that you're going to want to do lots of these cards. So I'm starting off with my piece of white for the top. This is slightly smaller than my standard size. So this is my normal 10 by 14.4 second layer size. And this one I've done 10 centimeters. Nope, not 10, sorry, 9. 14 by 9.6, so slightly smaller. If you're working in inches, I would just do 1/8 of an inch smaller. I just wanted a very small black border. And you're going to need some post-it notes. Now, if you've got the long post-it notes, those are going to be ideal. I only had the little ones, so I've stuck 2 of them together so that I've got that longer length. I do suggest that you actually stick the 2, because otherwise when you're blending it tends to flap. Now, you're never going to get 2 of these identical because it's all going to depend on how you put down your post-it notes, but we're going to put one across. Now, as I said, you can do it however you like. I try and go from the corner, and depending on how much space you leave at the top, you're going to have a bigger or a smaller V on the side. And then I'm going to put my second post-it note down the side. So I think I want a fairly big gap here where we've got our blending that we're going to show it off, but it's whatever you like. So I work from dark to light. I'm going to start with my Magenta Madness and my pink blending brush. Now, I just touch this. Now, just be careful when you start that you just dab it off, because otherwise you're going to get a great big blob of ink on your blending. And it's up to you how light or how dark you go. You can keep adding color. Remember, it's always better to go lighter because you can add more color, but if you've gone too dark, you're not going to be able to take it off. I think that's okay. And then I'm going to change, and I'm going to use Calypso Coral. And again, I've just got 3 different blending brushes here for my 3 different colors. Definitely want a bit more color on that one. And do run your one color into the other so that the colors blend together. I think we'll add a little bit more Calypso Coral. Right. And then lastly, I'm going to use crushed curry. I haven't had a chance, but I'm thinking of trying this with sort of blues and greens, see what effect that has. It'll probably be a little bit more of a masculine look, but I think that that could work quite nicely as well. Maybe I'll try that and I'll post a picture of that. Okay, so that's our blending done. Don't remove your post-it notes yet because we're going to stamp our butterflies to emboss. So there's my butterflies. Oh, there's some more ink has disappeared. Okay, here it is. Okay, it was hiding from me. Now, with these butterflies, I'm going to stamp it so that I've got sort of that large butterfly sitting roughly in the middle. Okay, so I can see that I don't need to ink up the whole stamp. So I'm just going to ink up sort of that side and going a little bit onto those where that might go over. And then we're going to stamp the butterflies. Let me just clean my stamp because we're going to want to stamp the insert with the butterflies as well. Hang on for a second. Now, at this point, I do take my post-it notes off because you can sprinkle the embossing powder with it on, but if you want to make more than one of these, then you're going to get the embossing powder over where the Versamark's gone over the edge on the post-it notes, and that's just going to be messy, so I take it off. You do need to be aware that there is some of the residue from the post-it note, so you're going to need a paintbrush just to brush that off. And I'm throwing my black embossing powder over. Let me just put a little bit more powder those bits. Okay, and let me just grab my paintbrush. Alright, now there's a few little spots of embossing powder over there which I probably don't want. If you get a few little dabs, you know, little speckles, it's not going to matter hugely, but I just don't want too many speckles. But be careful that you don't rub off your design either. Okay, we're going to say that that's okay. I just want to throw this embossing powder back in here because otherwise I am definitely going to get embossing powder everywhere. Love embossing, but that powder can be a little bit messy. Right, now bear with me for a minute. We're going to make this noisy while I emboss this. make sure that all your embossing powder has melted, because there's nothing worse than as you start touching it, the powder all smudges. Right. And I'm quickly going to stamp my insert and my envelope. Now with this butterfly, you can selectively stamp just one butterfly, and that's what I'm going to do for the corners. So with my Memento ink, I'm going to just ink up this butterfly in the corner. And we're going to stamp that into the corner over there. And I'm going to do the same on my envelope. Oops, almost dropped the stamp now. I have gone a little bit over there, so I'm going to just try to carefully make sure. Maybe this butterfly is going to be flying up. That's just not going to work because I got ink on that and it is going to smudge, but we'll still make him slide down, and hopefully, there we go, that's okay. Right, so that's our insert and our envelope stamped, and I've stamped the sentiment as well, so that we've got that all done. Now we can start to assemble. So I've got my card base. I'm going to stick my black bit. No, I like sticking the butterfly first. Well, the layer first. So. Now this paper does bend a little bit because of from the heat, but that's okay. So you can either use your stamp and seal, or you could use tear and tape. I like working with the Tombow because I can never put things down straight first time, so it allows me to shift it. So we'll just hold it for a couple of seconds to give it time to adhere, and then we're going to stick that onto the front of the card. Close my Versamark. There we go. And of course the insert needs to go inside. Then I'm taking my sentiment, and all that I'm going to do is, with my scissors, shock horror, I'm going to flag it. So we're going to cut a little snip roughly in the middle, try get it in the middle, and then we're cutting from the corner to the edge of that cut in the middle, and we're doing the same thing on this side. Couple of dimensionals, and you can play around with where you want the sentiment. So, you know, I could stick it up at the top over there, or down here. depending on how your stamp has stamped, you'll decide where you want that sentiment, because if you've got a bit of a smudge, you can hide it, or if you've got a very small snip of a butterfly that you want to hide, you can try that. And then, just because I was playing and I wanted to see what it looked like, I did the same card with the dragonflies as well. So those are my 3 cards. I now have a problem because I can't actually decide which one I like best. So which do you like? The dahlias, the butterflies, or the dragonflies? I hope you'll give this a try. Until next week, keep crafting. See you next time. Bye.